Hello everyone, Octim0 here, and today I want to discuss the current DLC for Resident Evil 7. I know I said I was going to do a review of the game, but I decided to forego it. I more or less feel I should discuss, Angry Joe, he overly, orgasmically loved this game, and I did like this game, but the length does not justify the price, and even the DLC. Now, granted, I did get the deluxe edition, but I traded a lot of stuff towards it, so I really didn't put any money down. But it's because I really wanted this game, because I'm a Resident Evil fan, and I'm glad I didn't put any money towards it, because I would have been even more pissed than I already am. But for those who did drop a lot of money for it, including the season pass, I am really sorry. Granted, did I enjoy the DLC? Yes. Do I feel it's justifiable with the price attached to it? No. This is why I say that. Resident Evil 7 story on its own is short. I thought I clocked in 9 hours. I've said this in my previous videos. No. Instead, I ended up clocking in 7 hours, maybe a little bit more than 7. And that's even with exploring and stuff. That's as much as I could get into that, and I'm just really surprised. Now, I've argued with Outrage Bubba, saying that a 7-hour game seems like a decent thing for a horror, but Outlast had a pretty lengthy gameplay, whatever, and Alien Isolation, I know I at least put in 15 to almost 20 hours in that game, because that game was long, and not even counting the amount of times I've died in that. This game, however, I expected something along the same lines as Alien Isolation in terms of stealth. I really didn't need to be stealthy in this game, at least in the main, the normal mode. Madhouse, however, that's different. That was a whole nother monster altogether. Now, for the DLC for this game, like the bedroom, that was okay, but it made me feel like I was playing Silent Hill: The Room. I know the room took place in other locations, but there were the points where you actually had to explore the room and figure out new. It was, at the time, it was kind of fun, but not really. In this one, it's like they added little segments and how you have to survive in the room. And then the one before that, Nightmare. Nightmare was good, but Nightmare felt like the Mercenaries. This is stuff they could have added into the game instead of adding a season pass. I would have loved to have seen all these extras as a side thing that you unlocked, that you played, instead of something that you paid for. I feel it's unnecessary for Capcom to do that, and I think it's just bullshit. I don't know. I've seen so many people praise the content. The only fun one for me in terms of content that I actually found I knew would have been good as just DLC was 21, because they added a new perspective on how you're going to try and survive. Yeah, you're in a single room, but you're playing a card game. And when I played Red Dead Redemption, I had fun playing regular card games, poker or blackjack. And blackjack, I thrive at them, although not in this case. I'm pretty sucking right now. But what I'm saying is that I actually had fun in this mode, because it was like a Resident Evil card battle game in a lot of ways. Oh god, that's awful. I hope Capcom doesn't do that. Please, Capcom, don't do that. For this, though, I did enjoy it, but again, at the same time, I felt like it should have been DLC, or just something that was a part of the game altogether. Now, the mode, Daughters? Again, good, but short. This is the only story-based DLC that didn't involve Clancy that actually had it felt pretty lengthy, but the problem is that once you beat it, you realize how, I think you can beat this in like 25 minutes tops, and that's without like having to explore or check out the little newspapers or just little things to find around the game, because the way they made this game, it's like exploration is a big deal, but unfortunately it just doesn't do the game too much justice. And it's like, I can't believe I waited for this. Like I expected a whole lot more. Now, yeah, sure, it added a nice bit of context to the game and more to the origin of what happened to the Bakers. But again, this stuff should have just been something a part of the game to begin with. I mean, they showed Mia with the candle demo thing or whatever they called that, and the in my mind, I'm like, why would they even show like show that, but they don't show how the Bakers got infected. I would have liked to have seen that. Instead, it's paid DLC that you like. Oh, you want to see what happened to the Bakers? Well, you need to pay for this. I'm like, why do you have to pay for this? Like, they could have done so much more. Again, Nightmare, they could have easily just put that as a mercenaries thing that was already part of the game already. That I would have been fine with it being a sort of mercenaries thing. But again, you're only playing as Clancy. I thought that was kind of suckish, the fact that you could only play as Clancy. Instead of, I mean, but again, they don't give anybody special anything. Like in the mercenaries, yeah, Leon, Jake, Rebecca, all of those characters had their own slew of moves that they did against the zombies and whatnot that you fought in past Resident Evil games. In this one, no one has any special kung fu, whatever kind of martial arts to help them fight against the hordes of the undead. You're just normal people, and again, it adds to that fear and dread. But the price of the game and I mean, yeah, I know quality over quantity, I guess, but when you want more out of a game, that you expect more out of a game, a game with this kind of pedigree, you kind of want to see more of what they are trying to offer in this. I mean, it's just Resident Evil. I know 6 was mostly a disappointment to a lot of people. Me personally, I enjoyed it. Story-wise, not so much. I mean, it's like one of my coworkers said, it was a good game, but bad story and just bad placement and how they did things. They made it too action-oriented. I understand that. Now, Resident Evil 7, yeah, it went back to its roots, to being a horror game. I'm pretty sure the evil within had helped its influence and whatnot. But at the end of the day, DLC to me just didn't seem that worth it. Now, yeah, I did have fun in my Let's Plays. It was fun to do. But at the end of I'm just thinking, man, they really could have added all this with the game already, instead of just trying to milk it for whatever. Because I know that the game, even though it's sold, it's not selling as well as Capcom had hoped. But personally, I think they should have just bundled it all and then try to do something else with DLC down the road. It just made no sense. I mean, the whole season pass shit, I blame Call of Duty for that. I blame Battlefield for all that, why all that stuff exists now. And I just, I really wish Resident Evil didn't have to resort to this, but, or Capcom resorting to this. And it's just, I don't know. What can you do? As a fan, I'm horrendously disappointed in what they did give out. I just thought, like, really, minigames. Ethan Must Die felt like I was playing Dark Souls in the Resident Evil universe, because that mode's fucking tough. And it's weird that they took the Dante Must Die mode from Devil May Cry and they threw it in Resident Evil. To me, it's a lot harder, because at least in Devil May Cry you can last a lot longer. I don't know. Playing as Dante in Devil May Cry is pretty badass. But anyway, what are your thoughts? If you guys who own PlayStations right now, because I know the DLC's out early for anyone who owns a PlayStation, what are your thoughts? What do you think of the DLC? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Do you think Capcom should have done more? I personally think they could have done so much more than release all this like this. The story content should have been a little bit longer, because, I mean, if you look at Asura's Wrath, or if you look at, I don't know why I'm using this as an example, but DMC Devil May Cry, at least Virgil's Downfall had a good length to it in terms of story and gameplay. These just feel like something that could have just already been the game already, and it's disappointing. Anyway, like I said, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And just let me know in the comments.